In October 2022, Adidas terminated its partnership with Kanye West, instantly turning a thriving empire into a €1.2 billion mountain of unsellable sneakers. Hidden deep inside secure warehouses sat millions of pairs of shoes that the company was legally barred from selling, yet contractually trapped into paying for. You are about to discover how a single week of controversy triggered the most expensive corporate identity crisis in modern fashion history, leaving one of the world's biggest brands facing its first annual loss in decades. It began as a marriage made in retail heaven, but it ended with a rapper losing his billionaire status overnight, and a corporate giant staring at piles of rubber and mesh they seriously considered burning to the ground. This is the story of how a licensing dream turned into a €1.2 billion financial nightmare. To understand how Adidas wound up in this multi-billion-dollar trap, we have to go back to November 2013. That was the moment Kanye West, now known as Ye, announced he was leaving Nike to partner with Adidas. For Adidas, this was a massive coup. In February 2015, they launched their first collaborative shoe, the Yeezy Boost 750, and the world went mad. By June 2016, the partnership had expanded into a long-term deal that would redefine the sneaker industry. The financial mechanism was simple but incredibly lucrative. Adidas handled the manufacturing, global distribution, and retail logistics, while Yeezy LLC provided the creative direction. In exchange, he was entitled to a massive 15% royalty on all sales. Under former CEO Kasper Rorsted, Yeezy became a license to print money, generating billions of dollars, and lifting Yeezy's net worth to an estimated $2 billion. But this golden goose had a fatal flaw. Adidas had handed total creative and cultural control to a man whose behavior was becoming increasingly erratic. Rorsted and the board frequently defended Yeezy's controversial statements because the cash flow was simply too massive to ignore. The first major cracks in the empire began to show in public, but the real earthquake hit in October 2022. During Paris Fashion Week, he shocked the fashion industry by wearing a highly offensive shirt emblazoned with the phrase, "White Lives Matter." The backlash was immediate, but instead of backing down, he doubled down. Just days later, on October 8, 2022, he posted an anti-Semitic tweet that led to his immediate suspension from major social media platforms. Inside Adidas's headquarters in Germany, panic set in. For years, the executive team had tolerated the drama because Yeezys were selling out in seconds. But now, the public outcry was deafening. Activists, retail partners, and consumers were demanding that Adidas take a stand. The company was trapped between its corporate values and its bottom line, realizing that the brand they had built their future on was suddenly radioactive. On October 25, 2022, Adidas finally made the call, announcing the immediate termination of its partnership with Kanye West. The financial fallout was instantaneous and devastating. The decision wiped out Yeezy's net worth, causing it to crash from $2 billion to just $400 million in a matter of days. But the damage to Adidas was just as severe. The company was suddenly forced to take an immediate €250 million hit to its net income for 2022. Looking ahead to 2023, the outlook was even grimmer. The termination was expected to slash Adidas's annual revenue by €1.28 billion and wipe out €500 million from its operating profits. And then there was the physical reality of the breakup. Over €1.2 billion worth of unsold Yeezy sneakers sitting in warehouses with nowhere to go. Adidas was facing its first annual loss in over 30 years. In January 2023, a new CEO named Bjorn Gulden walked into Adidas to inherit this smoking ruin. He was immediately confronted with a bizarre, unprecedented ethical and financial dilemma. What do you do with €1.2 billion of highly coveted, highly controversial sneakers? Gulden and his team seriously considered physically destroying the shoes, but that would mean a massive write-off and an environmental disaster that would trigger even more public outrage. On the other hand, selling them meant navigating a legal minefield. Even though the partnership was dead, he was still contractually entitled to his 15% royalty on any Yeezy products sold. If Adidas sold the shoes to recover their losses, they would be putting tens of millions of dollars directly back into the pockets of the very man they had just fired for hate speech. Gulden had to find a way to mitigate the damage while trying to do the right thing. While Bjorn Gulden was trying to solve the warehouse crisis, a new threat emerged from the shareholders. On April 30, 2023, a group of institutional investors filed a class-action lawsuit against Adidas. The shareholders were furious, alleging that the company's executive leadership had long been aware of his problematic and erratic behavior behind closed doors, but chose to hide these risks from the public to keep the stock price high. The lawsuit claimed that Adidas had prioritized short-term profits over long-term corporate governance, leaving shareholders to carry the financial burden of the inevitable collapse. This legal battle added a whole new layer of pressure, turning a branding disaster into a high-stakes courtroom drama where Adidas's past negligence was laid bare for the world to see. In May 2023, Bjorn Gulden finally announced his high-stakes gamble. Adidas would not destroy the shoes. Instead, after consulting with non-governmental organizations, they decided to sell the remaining Yeezy stock in controlled batches and donate a significant portion of the proceeds to charities dedicated to combating racism and anti-Semitism. It was a masterclass in damage control. In 2023, the sales of the remaining Yeezy stock generated 750 million euros in revenue, saving the company 100 million euros in stock write-off costs. Slowly, the cloud over Adidas began to lift. In January 2024, he published an open letter apologizing for his anti-Semitic remarks. What started as a 1.2 billion euro sneaker nightmare ended up as a stark warning to the entire corporate world. Adidas managed to salvage some of its losses and turn a public relations disaster into millions of dollars for charity. But the scars of the Yeezy collapse will remain for years. They learned the hard way that when you build a multi-billion-dollar empire on the back of a single, volatile superstar, you are always just one tweet away from total collapse. In the end, the giant mountain of unsellable shoes was cleared. But the lesson remains. In the modern economy, no partnership is too big to fail, and no brand is too powerful to be brought to its knees. Adidas survived, but the era of unchecked celebrity worship in high finance was officially over.